Rick's List, CNN weekday afternoons, 3 Eastern.
What kind of threats or instances have been leveled at you and or your staff or family, sir?
There's been quite a few, many. But basically the ones that concern you is that we will kill you, we know where you live, we know where your family is. Those are the types that's crossing the line. You played a little bit on their teaser in the show there. Those were the mild ones. We couldn't really give you the strongest ones.
Well, for those of us who are joining us now, they may not have seen what we showed a little earlier during our 3 o'clock hour, because we're going to continue thematically on this throughout. Let me play some of those so the viewers can see it again, if you don't mind. Go ahead, Rich.
Congressman Stupak, you are one big piece of human and think about this. There are millions of people across the country who wish you ill. And all of those thoughts projected on you will materialize. We don't have to do anything but sit back and wish, go to hell, you piece of.
Congressman, when you hear that, what are you thinking about?
Well, again, that's really mild, Rick. I mean, really. You know, the ones that get you is, we're going to grab you and we're going to put a gun to your head and just pull the trigger. Those are ones that you have to take serious, and those are the ones we're turning to threat assessment. We received well over 50 rather serious threats in the last several days.
And you're a cop, right?
Yes, I was a police officer for 13 years.
I know you're married. You have a wife. Do you have children as well?
Yes.
What about them in all of this?
Well, my son has grown up. He's another part of the country. I'm not going to say where, and but he's affected. I mean, the staffs are taking abuse, the abusive language. It's just reflective of where we're at as a society. I think we can disagree on issues, but you don't have to send white powder like they apparently have at Congressman Anthony Weiner's, put coffins in front of office, put bricks through windows, threats. Local law enforcement and federal law enforcement have been great. I know they've stepped up their surveillance patrols and trying to provide as much protection for members, their families, and our staffs.
When you try to use fear or intimidation directly with either calls or affecting people's lives, some people are going as far as saying that is very close to, if not actual, terrorism. Maybe not the terrorism that we're used to seeing, that we see in places like Afghanistan and Iraq, and certainly the horrible thing that happened in 9/11. But some people would describe it that way. How would you describe it?
They're trying to intimidate us. And I do believe that under federal law, it is a crime to threaten or try to coerce, intimidate a federal official, especially on an issue.
Is it terrorism?
I guess you might as well call it domestic terrorism. Sure. I mean, the things you saw this weekend, we're going back and forth for votes. Members being spat on, racial slurs at some of our colleagues, sexual things at our colleagues. That's just totally uncalled for. There's no reason for it.
Well, by the way, I wanted to invite someone from the GOP to be with us here during this conversation.
Right.
And this is not to say, and I don't believe that you would say, that this is representative of the Republican Party.
No, it's not.
Or that all Republicans are like that.
No, it's not.
However, there has been an awful lot of palaver today coming from some of your colleagues saying, you know what, to a certain extent, the heated rhetoric from Republicans has instigated some of these actions. What's your take on that?
Well, the thing that outraged a lot of us was, while the demonstrations were going on, Republicans were on the second floor with signs urging the crowd below. Some of them said kill. Some of them had a picture of the speaker, and they would hold it up and then slice their hand across the speaker's throat. To the crowd, they'd all cheer. I mean, it almost became a mob mentality here. And then when you have members, say members of Congress, encouraging it with signs and pictures and gestures, that's really uncalled for.
I want to let you listen to something, because some would argue, and we've gone back and done our research, that this is not just now. This is not brand new. That this type of rhetoric has been used by some, not all, some Republicans in the past. Listen to this from Michelle Bachmann. This is months and months ago,
Right.
having, I believe, nothing to do with health care. Play it, Raj.
I want people in Minnesota armed and dangerous on this issue of the energy tax because we need to fight back. Thomas Jefferson told us having a revolution every now and then is a good thing. We, the people, are going to have to fight back hard if we're not going to lose our country.
Armed and dangerous and wanting a revolution. What do you think when you hear those words, and are they appropriate, and do they instigate?
Yes, I think they instigate. Are they appropriate? No. We do have revolutions in this country. You just saw one with the last election. We do our revolution through a ballot box. If you are upset with the way Congress is working or your local official, go to the ballot box. I mean, I got involved because I was frustrated with my state representative way back in the mid-'80s. And so instead of complaining about it and doing crazy things, I went out and worked hard and defeated the incumbent representative, and here I am now in Congress. That's the way it should be. That's what Jefferson meant. That's why the value of a vote is so critical and should be a sacred obligation that we all have as Americans. Go out and vote.
Does this make you want to stay in there, fight, and even use it, as some of your colleagues have done, to maybe get more funds and support from your constituents? Or does it make you wonder whether you really need all this grief and go get a job as a cop or a lieutenant or a detective or something?
Well, you sort of wonder, is it all worth it from the personal toll? I mean, if they want to threaten me, fine. But you don't have to be calling my house at 2, 3 in the morning and yelling obscenities at my wife or threatening me at my home where you know I'm not there because I'm in Washington. You don't need that. You really have to wonder, why would anyone go and take a job like this to the personal abuse you put up with? It goes with the territory to a point.
Bart Stupak, thank you, sir.